Hi class, it's Miss Raymond. This point of this lesson is to review theme, and this goes with the worksheet that is in your Google Classroom. Okay, so this is the worksheet. The goal of this video is to help you fill out this worksheet. Okay, we're going to work on theme in To Kill a Mockingbird. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to review PowerPoint based on theme and then review the sheet to help you work through the sheet. Okay, so let's see. Now we have theme. Okay, so theme is basically the life lesson, meaning, moral, or message about life or human nature that is communicated by a literary work. In other words, it's what the story teaches readers. Okay, it's basically a life lesson. So what is the life lesson you are learning when you read a story? So a theme is not a word, it's a sentence. You don't have to agree with theme to identify it. For example, we talked about social inequality in To Kill a Mockingbird recently. Social inequality is a subject in To Kill a Mockingbird. Okay, it is not the theme. Okay, so the theme is a sentence. So social inequality, okay, could be don't judge people based on their social class or physical or mental handicaps. That can be the theme. Don't judge people based on their social class or physical or mental handicaps. Okay. Examples of theme. Money can't buy happiness. Don't judge people based on the surface. It is better to die free than live under tyranny. Tyranny is really strict rule, like dictatorship. Okay. So what we're going to do, I'm going to read this story. Okay. And then think about what's going on in this story, and then I'm going to tell you some examples of the theme of this story and why it's a theme. Okay? So Jenny Pushover was so excited. She had a pack of Starburst in her lunch, and she had been looking forward to eating them all morning. Lunch finally came, and Jenny sat down to eat her Starburst when her friend, notice how this is in italics, Judy, sat next to her. "Let me get the pink ones," asked Judy. Jenny liked the pink ones best, but she thought Judy was funny, and Jenny wanted Judy to like her. So Jenny gave Judy all of her pink Starbursts. Before Jenny was done giving Judy the pink ones, Carrie sat on the other side of Jenny. "Let me get the red and the orange ones, Jenny. Remember when I gave you that Snickers?" Jenny didn't remember that, though she did remember when Carrie ate a whole Snickers in front of her. But Jenny thought Carrie was cool, so she gave her the red and the orange Starbursts. Now that she only had the yellow ones, Jenny wasn't so excited about eating Starbursts anymore. Okay. So take a minute to think about what's going on in this story. What's happening to Jenny? What are Judy and Carrie doing to her? So here are some example answers of the theme. Remember, it's a sentence. You can't buy friends. You have to take care of yourself. Not everybody is your friend. Okay? So put yourself in Jenny's shoes. Let's say you were Jenny or Jim, male, female, and you had two friends who took advantage of you, and then you realized that you were being taken advantage of. You walked away and you told somebody about it. You told a good friend. You might say to Jenny, "I'm sorry that happened to you, but now you learn this life lesson. Not everybody is your friend." Okay? You can't buy friends. You have to take care of yourself. That's a life lesson. A theme is a life lesson that you are reading about. The story is giving you a theme, which is a life lesson. Okay? So themes are not explicit, clearly stated. Themes are implied. Themes are bigger than the story. So you have this little tiny story about Jenny and Starburst right here, okay? But the theme, the big world of theme, applies to the real world, okay? Themes are about the big picture, not yellow Starburst tastes bad, not Judy and Carrie are bad friends. Think bigger, find real world advice, okay? So little tiny story, big world of the theme applies to the real world. I'm just choosing this particular theme for this, okay? There are three of them, you could use, but I'm choosing this one. This applies to the real world, correct? I've learned it. You might learn it. Unfortunately, it's a tough lesson, but it's a life lesson that you carry with you the rest of your life. Okay. All right. so theme is what we can learn from a story. It must be inferred, which means you have to guess at it, and they're about the big world. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to flip it, okay? We are going to look at actually the theme first, okay? And then we're going to read a story, and you're going to figure out what in the story tells you that this is the theme. Okay, one of these is the theme. It could both be the theme. So, theme is cooperation is the key to success. We can all do better when we work together. Okay, so those are two examples of the theme of this story that we're about to read. And we're going to read the story and we're going to figure out what parts of this story tie into this theme or support the fact that these are themes. Okay? Cooperation is the key to success. We can all do better when we work together. Okay, so let's read this story. Jenny hated reading class. She didn't understand point of view or figurative language, and not knowing how to do the work frustrated her. She asked the teacher for help, but he spoke so fast and used such big words that she still couldn't understand. The teacher asked if she understood, and she nodded her head, but she didn't. Jenny's friend Katie knew that Jenny was having trouble, and rather than just giving Jenny all of the answers, Katie explained to Jenny how to solve the problems. Katie spoke clearly and at Jenny's level, and Jenny was happy that she finally learned how to do the work. Later in the week, Katie was having trouble in math class. She didn't understand coordinates and was really frustrated. Seeing that Katie was having problems, Jenny, who understood math very well, taught Katie coordinates. Both girls made honor roll that quarter. Okay, take a second here and just think about what's going on here. Okay? So, these are themes. Cooperation is key to success, or we can all do better when we work together. Okay? So if I'm just giving you these themes, and what is it in this story that tells you that links to these themes? Okay, let me show you. So, from the PowerPoint, the subject or topic is cooperation or teamwork. The theme or life lesson is cooperation is the key to success, or we can all do better when we work together. An example, how does that? By working together, Jenny and Katie helped each other and they both succeeded. Okay? So, that's what you're doing with To Kill a Mockingbird. You're looking at the theme first, and then you're giving me an example from the book on how it supports that theme. So let's go back to this. Cooperation is the key to success, or we can all do better when we work together. From the story, by working together, Jenny and Katie helped each other out and they both succeeded. That ties into this. Okay? So for these, all right, so education, theme or life lesson. Life is an education in itself. Okay? Where do you see that in the book? You can actually use quotes, and if you use quotes, you have to put quotes around them, few words, okay? So for each theme listed on the far left-hand side, find two strong supporting examples from the novel. Okay, the first one has been done for you. Write in complete sentences. All right, so life is an education in itself. Many of Scout's most important lessons are not learned at school. She learns from her father Atticus that one should always walk in another person's skin before judging them. For example, she judged the Cunninghams before she got to know them. This is an example of how life is an education in itself. You're using a character and an example here. Okay, courage. No matter how many people are against you, you need to have courage. All right, so here's some hints. Cowardice, being afraid. All right. Bob Ewell, here's one for you. I wrote it for you. The children were cowards because they were afraid of the Radley house. That's an example of this theme. Yes, you can use this. Okay. Theme or life lesson. Don't judge people based on their social class, physical, or mental handicaps. Tom Robinson was based on his race and was actually innocent. This is an example of this life lesson. Okay, so then for this assignment, you are going to fill this square out, fill this square out, this square out, this square out, and that square out. And that's it. Contact me with questions.